probably looking hella rough. Taurus, what's up? For reals, what the hell's going on? Damn, I went back and forth from thinking, like, because I just, whatever, sometimes I'll put off readings, I'll do them last and stuff, because when I start to do them, they make me feel really maybe tired or something like that. I'd like to save that till the end, you know, so energy and all that kind of stuff. Whatever, just along those lines. Hopefully my head's in the shot. Yeah, June's almost over. I'm still going to go ahead and do y'all's reading for June, July, August, but like, I've been trying. I went back and forth from thinking like it was this sort of Taurus energy, right, that was giving me a rough time, that was making things not kind of happen. And then I was like, no, it's just me. It's been way too long, whatever. I'm too busy, blah, 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 which is true. But now I'm kind of back to thinking it might be y'all again, because I don't know what my deal is. I'm like trying to wake up in the mornings and do this, thinking like I need to go outside because I have housemates, I don't want to bother them, blah, blah, blah. And it's been sunny, so I haven't wanted to walk anywhere in the middle of the day because I'm a baby and it's been hot. And now I get up this morning, I finally wake up and it like looks like it's gonna rain. So I don't go because I'm afraid I'm going to get rained on, all my equipment get all wet, and my cards get all wet and everything. So then I wait. I'm waiting so that I don't wake my housemates up. I don't know if they're here or not, but it's a little bit later now, so I think it's fine. But like, yeah, I don't know what the deal is, and I just don't want to do it. And in the process of doing it, I don't want to do anything else either related to it or anything. Like, everything seems like kind of a chore. So I don't know if that's where you guys are at right now or what the deal is. Something mentally blocking me. I don't think so. I do have my signs that are my, like, not my more favorite signs to do or whatever typically. And this is not one of them. So yeah, I don't know what the deal is. I'm really looking forward to seeing what the cards have to say. And hopefully I'll be able to help you guys out. I've also been trying to do some like personal readings for Taurians that I know and haven't been able to get those going. So yeah, obviously if I'm going to be any kind of tarot reader, I have to get over that. But very interesting, very curious. Yes, as usual, hopefully you guys can hear me. Yeah, I'm going to go through, what am I going to do? I think I might do something a little bit different than I did for the other signs, because I did a timeline that was like just a vague timeline, and I'm not sure about that. I'd like to do, I think, a month-to-month one. So I'll get you guys some general energy, then do a little bit of a month-to-month timeline, and then we'll do some advice. And I also want to specifically talk about love, career, and health for you guys for June, July, and August. This could be for Taurus, Sun, Moon, Rising, any other planet in the sign of Taurus, cross-watching, anything like that. Of course, this is for kind of a long period of time, so if you guys want to go back, reference this video or whatever, and hopefully I'll be able to film some more horoscope videos also in between that, but it's just kind of, I don't know, to give you guys a little bit to go off, because like I said, I'm pretty busy right now. So yeah, I'm going to lay cards down for some general energy for what's going to come up for you guys, or is already coming up, I guess, as it were, for June, July, and August 2018. Also, I apologize if my head's even in the shot for looking like a wreck. I was like, I have to go get my passport photo taken today, and I was like, it'll be great. I'll get up, I'll get ready, I'll be looking good for the video, looking good for my picture. I don't know. I just don't want to do anything surrounding this. So we will talk about that. I'm going to get you guys some advice because I'm seeing some of that sort of in here. It's not, I don't know. Okay, so what I'm seeing is a feeling of restriction and of being kind of closed in, but it's whatever you're being closed into, I don't want to say by, but like into, right, is something that feels really worthwhile to you, and something that you're sort of intimately connected to, which makes sense. I am getting in here very strong, just like Taurian energy, so I'm getting that for like your side. So it does feel very, you know, you're dedicated to it. You're like I said, intimately connected to it. It's something that does feel important. It feels worthwhile. It feels beautiful even, you know, but somehow too structured, too boxed in. Somewhat similar to my Gemini reading. If you have Gemini in your chart too, go check that out. But yeah, there's almost like a fakeness to what's happening. Like you're going through the motions, right? You're doing it because you're dedicated to it, but you're not really feeling it, so you're putting up a front a little bit, right? It's that stuckness, but you're going with it. You are coming out though of like a some reflection into a little bit more of a vocalization. It looks like you've been kind of taking in a lot of information, dealing with it, thinking about your past a lot, thinking, just putting these things together, right? What's the word? What the hell's the word? Analyzing things. You know, kind of almost like learning about yourself in this moment, sort of like, what do you want to do? What don't you want to do? And it's kind of like you're still doing it, but like it keeps coming up. You almost can't ignore it, right? And you are coming into, I think, a place of speaking about those things a little bit more, or wanting to act on those feelings a little bit, and just branch out some more, not in a destructive or self-destructive way though, right? It's pretty positive up there. I'm seeing you as being very stable but confused and a little stuck. I swear to God, the ice cream truck every day comes by here. It's so weird. It's passing by right now. So yeah, it looks tricky. It looks a little sticky for sure, and looks confusing. So that's why I would lay more cards down anyways, but I'm like, okay, let's get to that bit. Let's see. Let me make sure that there's not anything else I want to say. Yeah, I'm definitely seeing some two symbolism in here, and some like group symbolism. So it's definitely, I think, having to do with another person, an institution, other people, your social group, something having to do with like others, right? Obligation to others, or another, in sort of a way that feels kind of one-sided, maybe a little bit unhealthy, a little bit less fulfilling or gratifying than maybe you would like it to, or than it can also. But yeah, like I said, that thing is something that you can't just, like, I feel like if it was something like just whatever, you would just be like, okay, I'm not into this, and like break away from it. But something that you can't just break away from, and that may not be necessary, right? We're going to talk about how you can deal with this, what you can do to sort of deal with it the best way, whether it is breaking away from it or keeping it together, or something in a way that's a little bit more healthily balanced, and where you're getting your needs met too, at least in the future, if not currently or something, if this is something that you have to write out, right? We're going to talk about that. So yeah, let's see. Yeah, there's definitely a sense of going along with this thing that's making you feel kind of trapped in. And you're you're not being abrasive with it. You're not angry with it or anything like that. I'm not seeing anything like that. I'm just seeing that a little bit of like falseness in your acceptance of it, right? That it's not totally true. It's not really giving you what you want or what you need. And that you are putting a lot of energy into it too. And we'll see if that party is even getting what they want or what they need out of it really too, right, in the long run. So yeah, I'm going to pick these up. I will put down a timeline. Like I said, I want to do a timeline that's month by month. So we'll do sort of general for June, general for July, and general for August, and see how things progress. And I'm going to scratch my ear and my entire face. I'll be right back. Okay, month-wise. So I'm seeing in June, you can definitely look at this a little bit, not exactly June, July, August, and more of like a gradient kind of timeline or whatever, but basically kind of June-ish, right? it looks like throughout this whole thing, I'm definitely seeing some good self-power, so that's good. It looks like this month you're kind of definitely in that place, like I said, of you're putting in work and you're doing it, and you have a strong sense of being yourself, which is positive, and also of being in touch with like your nurturing side. I don't know why I rushed through that, but your nurturing side, self-nurturing, and therefore able to nurture others and stuff like that. You're there with that, right? You're in touch with your kind of, not to say that like if you're a Taurus, you're automatically nurturing or whatever, but you're in touch with your, what makes you kind of you and what makes you kind of valuable, right? Able to really exhibit that in what you're doing. They don't want you to take that and this month kind of be just going along with anything sort of thing, you know what I mean? They want you to be a little bit enterprising, I guess, because you do have that sort of self-power. I hope this is still helpful because June's almost over, but like, yeah, they want you to look towards like what can you do that's a little bit new, maybe, that's a little bit novel, that's stimulating for you also. And where can you apply that kind of this moment of like, you know, being able to get through it and do things and like I said, exhibit your kind of your talents and things like that. Where can you put those that are gonna kind of project you into the future a little bit, and not just kind of keep you where you are / just maybe be a little bit of a distraction, right? They don't want you to do the kind of like loosey-goosey thing. Yeah, take that self-power and use it. Even if you have to be a little bit outspoken and stuff like that, they want you to use this to kind of start a momentum a little bit. So then coming into July, I am seeing you, this could be breaking into something, breaking into an establishment or something, not like breaking and entering, but like something that's already kind of established a little bit, right? And you're kind of coming into it. It could also be a month for some travel and for some financial stability, if not increasing, but something like that. And also, again, a month of you kind of really having a lot of knowledge about what you're doing, right? You're not, it's almost like the time is confusing, but you are still very much like knowledgeable, skilled, and that kind of thing, right? So that's positive, and you have a certain amount of control, I think, whether that's self-control or control over your situation. But the advice or whatever is to think of this time as a not even like a gestation time, but like it's a very earthy energy, but it's very like digging the dirt for next year kind of vibe, right? It's not a what's the word? It's not like a harvest vibe, right? It's not like your sort of perfect Garden of Eden yet, right? It's more of a, yeah, you're digging in the soil. This could be the boring stage, right? Not really like seeing a lot of like returns on your investment, but this looks like a slow process. This looks like maybe some kind of major life change even. So it makes sense. This is just about kind of putting your head down, doing the work, being that kind of like stable person, having a lot of foresight and stuff like that, even if it's not that exciting. And then also to sort of shut your emotions down a tiny bit, if that makes sense. And that's kind of a weird like thing to say, but be less like less all giving, right? Because you need some of that energy to sort of work on this new endeavor, whatever it is that you're kind of seeing in June, this little spark of like, ooh, I could do this. You need to keep some of that energy for that endeavor, not to, you know, be like a selfish person or whatever, but to definitely like put your eyes in that direction, set your sights on that, because you know, there could be a chance of really being a little bit too like, oh, I've got all this power, I can do all this good, I'm going to do it all, right? But you want to use that power for a specific thing to set you on this trajectory you want to be on. Otherwise, you could kind of remain in this place where you're just giving everything and seeing to like whatever these other entities are. I always say entities, but yeah, which again, not a negative thing, but just you want to, in this time and place, throughout these months, be a little more focused on that future kind of goal, or sight or something like that. Yeah, it's not, I don't want to say a hibernation. It's kind of a hibernation vibe, but it's more of like a working in hibernation vibe. Being less, oh yes, I'll do this for you and I'll do that for you, whatever. Say no sometimes, kind of thing. Like, no, I need to do this right now. Maybe schedule it in later or something, but just make sure that you're setting enough time aside to be really, breaking into this thing that you want to break into, entering into this new space that you want to go, where you want to go. Okay, so then coming into August, this is where I might be seeing some of the conflict. Yeah, it could be a little bit of miscommunication, a little bit of scattered energies, definitely a little bit less stable than June and July. You could be being dragged in some different directions, right? Where here they were kind of, you're getting requested your energy, and you're kind of like, here people are like really requesting your energy, right? They really want you to be doing what they want you to be doing. And not necessarily just people, but things also, right? Things coming up in your environment. Could be opportunities and things that might seem a little bit fun and cool and interesting. Could be a little bit of an internal kind of more mental distraction, escapism I'm seeing for sure. Could be a little bit of a breakdown from this kind of like going at it hard and not like exhibiting a lot of emotions and care and stuff like that. Could be a little bit of like a all of a sudden in August, but they just want you to kind of take a breather. You can take a rest, take a break if you want to, right? But don't get sucked back into your sort of codependent habits. Don't get sucked back into the break should not be, oh, I've been working so hard on this thing, let me just take a break and acquiesce to what these people want, right? The break should be an actual break for you, not just shifting all your energy into another direction. But if you need to take a step back to calm yourself and stop kind of the activity, then do that. Stop the activity. Don't just put it into something else or somebody else. Yeah. Just relax. Don't go on the deep end with the escapism and that kind of thing. But like, if you need to go and just do some things that are gonna like take your mind off of it, be physically relaxing, can definitely be an indication. And just breathe through it, and also like see things as I don't know, just look on the positive side and that kind of thing, and keep kind of like your head above water while you're doing that relaxation, if that makes any sense. Definitely not to be like, keep watching my video over and over again, but definitely come back and you can reference this and stuff like that, because this is months away, 2.5 months away, August for sure. But like, yeah, I'm seeing kind of definitely a strength and kind of like a release in here, which is okay. And they're actually they're advising that, they're advising it, but your release card is very it's very much in the positive sense of looking on the bright side, taking some time for yourself, taking especially some physical time to relax, taking care of your body, your mental health, and that kind of thing, and actually doing it, right? The whole, like, I don't know, the kind of self-care that's like over 10 minutes. I was just rambling about self-care, and about specifically what I was saying was like, do the kind of I don't know, the physical, take a bath and a long nap, self-care, right? Not a lot of the introspective and you know, self-work, kind of self-care and that kind of thing, and like putting your, you know, putting your environment into order and that kind of thing, right? But way more of a relaxive state, and looking at things as positive and stuff like that. Definitely do that in August. Take time for yourself. Stay on that kind of self-oriented path, but see it as this is your kind of rest time, right? Because July is really looking like a lot of really putting the work in to do what you don't really feel like doing. So in August, you might have some kind of a, like I said, a little bit of like a, not a breaking point, but just a need for stepping back and getting maybe into a more imaginative state, also really a little bit more experience oriented, but just something that's very calm and going to make you feel calm and relaxed, and kind of recenter yourself. Okay, so I will pick these up. I'm going to put some advice down for this general energy, how you can deal with this kind of thing that's sort of blocking you in, so we can see how you can either break away from it or reconfigure it or something like that. And some, whatever, an outcome, right, for that. And then we'll get into love, career, and health. Okay, I'm just sitting off camera crying of joy, which never happens. I got text back from my friend. She's gonna have a baby and everything looks healthy and good, and I've never been excited for someone to have a baby until now. Yes, very good news. So that being said, also she's a Taurus, which is weird. But okay, let's talk about advice. This is actually pretty positive, you guys. Outcome-wise, advice-wise, everything. It looks like a lot of the fears and things, especially pertaining to like, okay, well, let's see. Let me start over. I don't think that whatever this thing is that's making you feel a little bit trapped, this thing really is saying you don't have to get rid of it, right? Don't get rid of it. I hope that that's good advice. Sometimes it's kind of like, ooh, like if you're in a horribly like abusive relationship, this is not the advice for you. But for this kind of story, I think that those fears that you're going to have to get rid of this, or those anxieties that you're going to have to get rid of everything that you've built, right, in this situation, because it's a little bit imperfect. Don't worry about that. I am seeing that as your kind of like blind spot, your weakness a little bit, is to be seeing these kind of imperfections, your criticisms and things that you're having as like signs, right? Really looking deeply into things and seeing things kind of, seeing their worst bits and being like, okay, well, this, you know, is this going to be the end, or am I looking for signs to kind of end this or to move on to something else? That's your like what you might have a tendency to do. Not necessary. Your strengths, on the other hand, are kind of tied into that, where your strengths really do have to do with seeing the bad parts, right, and the good parts, and seeing them as separate and seeing how they relate. I really think that you have a strong sense for that, despite the fact that you're very dedicated to whatever this is that's being a little bit taxing on you. You know, you still remain quite in touch with the parts of it that you don't really like, right? That you're not really into, that feel bad, that are not working, which is a really great starting spot. I would like to go a little bit farther into the advice on this, but it's a little more than I'm comfortable with doing on a general reading. Like I'm not offering personal readings right now, but there are a lot of people who do for sure. So that could be something that you could seek out for a little bit more advice. I'm basically just getting, you know, to not get too wrapped, to like relax on those things a little bit, right? To see them as a little bit more, maybe more superficial than they might feel. Those little imperfections, that they're things that can be tweaked, and that should be tweaked, and that you can see them as things that are, rather than being really deeply ingrained and hard to get to. pop them up to the surface, right? Make them a little bit workable. They're not really that deep. They're not that, you know, they're not the thing that's going to really sink this ship or whatever. You just need to kind of deal with them a little bit, right? Sort out the things that you don't like, and specifically be a little bit vocal. Even if, like, don't wait for things to be smoothed over to communicate your needs, right? Do that first. Even if communication is a little bit weird, they want you to do that. Don't try to just sort it out quietly, or sort it out by you know, continuing to play your role and that kind of thing. That's your sort of, don't do that. But sort it out, right? But be a little bit vocal, and don't be so tragic about it, I guess, or not so tragic, but don't be tragic about it. It doesn't seem necessary. I'm not seeing that this is a huge thing, but it's definitely like feels present, right? Obviously, there's a lot of information about this in this reading, so I can tell that it like feels very real to you and is confusing and is making you question a lot, but I don't think it's that deep. It's not that big of a deal. It's much more surface level, and it's very manageable, definitely very doable. And I think that you even have really the tools to start. Again, I'd like to go a little bit deeper, but I think that for a general reading that wouldn't really be applicable, but definitely if you feel like that's helpful, go find another reader that you like, and get a personal reading from them about how you can kind of specifically, whatever your specific issues are, you know what I mean, try to sort them out a little bit. But yeah, it looks like they're a little more surface oriented than you think they are. So just keep your center, breathe. Like I said, take care of your physical health, your mental health for sure. And we will get into health, love, and finances after this. It's taking me forever, but that's fine. And your outcome cards look nice too. Your outcome is very, it's still, like I said, there might be some fears surrounding having to release this thing that you're so entwined with and that you've taken so much time to build, right? But you don't have to do that. I don't see that that's really a fear, as long as you get down with just trying to fix the little negative parts. Just take the tweaks out, you know. Take the tweaks out. Tweak the tweaks out. I don't know, whatever. Just deal with the little things, you know. I'm seeing that you can see them, so address them. And it looks like you may be kind of headed in that direction anyways. So then, yeah, you can have like this stability, this like really intense thing that you're really connected to. You can stay connected to that, right? And stay stable. It's not, things aren't tumbling down for you or anything like that. With this really nice kind of contentment card also. I'm seeing the stability that you have established and a contentment brought into it, and a relaxation too, and a sort of a reciprocity of kind of care and that kind of thing, right? It's very genuine. Yeah, and it's not as kind of intensive. It's very, very much more calm and relaxed and at peace, right? And it has like a nice kind of like, also like creative, dreamy feel too. So it has some of this like opposing energy to this really stability, right? Which may be the thing that's kind of like keeping you a little bit like but also is good and positive, and you want that stability. So this is that with a little leeway, right? With a little elasticity, a little bit more kind of just fulfillment, calmness, and that kind of thing. So I hope that is helpful. I'm going to, as I've said 1,000 times before, lay some cards down. Health, love, finances, career, and that kind of thing. And I'll be right back again. Okay, what do I have? Love, career, health. So let's start with love. This could be where some of your feeling boxed in a little bit. Things go either that or there are some other elements in your kind of relationship, or it's something having to do with more than two people, whether it's whether it's something in your environment or just some other kind of non-human element, or another person, several other people, something having to do with that, but it's a little bit stuck, almost stagnant, or just like self-contained. Your advice your advice is to be forceful, almost be that kind of like bully, right? Not bully, but like bull-esque, and less like passive aggressive, less trying to like smooth things over / do things kind of in secret, and more being upfront with them and being focused on the entire environment and making sure everything's working well, and less focused just on like your self-survival almost, and I think that's going to be more conducive to keeping this kind of relationship away from a cycle of like just appeasing and people pleasing and stuff like that, right? And just having it be, it's like interesting, it's like if you move towards fulfilling your role now within the relationship, you'll come to a place that's more just more relaxed, more easy, more natural. Whereas if you try to do the relaxed, natural, easy thing now on the surface and sort of just try to fix everything underneath the surface, then you're just going to get stuck in this cycle where things are not that relaxed and easy. So they want you to really also just be dedicated, right, to this relationship, I guess. I guess this is about a relationship, or to your sort of environment, your social environment, right? If you're not in a relationship, this can definitely be having to do with your social sphere, your social group, and your, like I said a million times, your environment. They want you to be really environmentally focused and hard-headed almost about that, about, protecting, environmental protection, I don't know, protecting this thing, whatever it is, staying there, not giving way and being like, oh, okay, acquiescing and stuff to try to like soothe your own feelings and stuff like that. They want you to be a little bit rough to make sure that things are going smoothly and they're where they need to be, and that's where the relaxation ultimately is going to come from. I hope that makes sense. Okay. Career-wise, I'm seeing some frustration, things not going exactly how you'd like or how you see them. Your advice, I want to say, is to like, instead of being like the tree, be like a tree. I'm getting like a tree and like several trees. So like in a 9, which again is this kind of it's almost the opposite of the last one. Well, not really. Okay, whatever. Forget I just said that. Whatever. It's its own thing. So the 9, which is very much about, again, relaxation, taking time. Don't try to be everything. Like if your entire world basically is wrapped up in whatever this your sort of career and your monetary stuff is, that's when things are going to start to get frustrating because they're not perfect, because that's everything, right? Kind of thing, if that makes sense. They want you to take some time back, whether that's being able to take some time from work a little bit less, maybe switch some of your work so that you're doing something else, whether it's somewhere else or in the same kind of, area, the same job, but just doing something else for a little while. Just diversify a little bit. And also just, take some time for yourself. Make sure that you have time for your like passion projects and things like that if you can. Things that really make you happy, that are going to allow things to be a little bit more imperfect, maybe at your job or something like that, or in your finances, but it won't seem so dire because it won't be everything. It's a sensitive subject when you start talking about money and taking time off and all that kind of stuff. But like, yeah, just try to take a little bit more time. And what I'm seeing specifically is that you're maybe coming, this is why I'm saying maybe diversifying your work, is because you're coming, I see, if you do that, kind of coming into somewhere that's still as like busy and almost like unfocused and rushy, if that's what's going on with you, but it's less not financially, less physically focused and more emotionally and creatively focused, and possibly less physically taxing, a little more emotionally creatively taxing, but something about making the switch over from this like really physical hardcore thing to a little bit more of a still kind of a hardcore thing, but a more here and here sort of thing. So yeah, calm down a little bit on trying to put everything into that one thing, and also on let some other people take some of the responsibility from you too, right? If you're taking all the responsibility, you need to take some of that responsibility away so that you can put some of your energy into something that's a little bit less physically exhaustive, maybe, or just little less physically stimulating. Okay, so let's talk about health. I'm really going to try to talk about it not in terms of pregnancy and having babies, although there's definitely an element of that sort of vibe, but just in general, I'm seeing a nurturing vibe and a maternal vibe, but also very like self-caring and / like very like protective over those close to you. It's this Cancer in reverse, so very very overly protective, or just very protective, which I think is good. They want you to do that. Be hyper vigilant, be hyper focused, create this kind of be the less excited, more reserved kind of water sign, if that makes sense. Like do what you need to do to protect what's yours, right? Your contradicted thing is the hedonism card. So don't just go all out. And that's also my like cheerleader card, my like really like getting excited for other people and what other people are doing kind of card too thing, right? So if like you're really being requested to do a lot that's kind of impacting your health, don't go there. Stay focused on your, again, I'm getting the environmental thing, so like building your environment up. And I'm seeing that like if you kind of go this way and you go into more just like giving in and that hedonism and that like, you know, stimulation kind of vibe, you know, there's like pleasure to be had there, but it's also like something that you are already good at, I want to say. I'm worried about the time, so I'm going to check it really quick. Okay. Yeah, so like something that you're already good at, right? Like down here I'm getting like it's not horrible, but it's like more of the same kind of thing. Like here you're really kind of creating an environment for things that are less, here's where I could come with like the pregnancy thing and the baby thing, and of course it's my seed card in reverse, and which is a very like my number one, my like child infant card too, but like just for something that's less developed to become developed, right? To begin itself, so creating an environment to kind of better your health in some way, or tighten up on something that you've not been so great with in the past, right? If you keep dedicated to that thing, keep focused on it, keep a little obsessive with it. If you just kind of go basically in the other direction, which is a little bit less focused and more focused on your external things and things that are farther away from you, kind of, it's almost like more of the same, right? So be kind of careful about that, because I guess not only could this be dangerous, but also like not really necessary, right? If more of the same is a negative thing, because it is your health that you're talking about, right? So that could be dangerous, but it could also be like just not necessary, right? If you're already good at taking care of yourself in some way, and you just go towards that and continue to do what you do, and you're not progressing at all, right? So if you can go in the other way and think about what you want, think about the parts that are you're not so good at and that you haven't necessarily succeeded in, and really get focused on those and protecting those and creating, like I said, that environment for those to grow and flourish and be able to kind of be their like young naive selves unprotected in that environment. Do that. That could be really nice and very progressive, right? Yeah, okay. Thank you guys for watching. This is long, hopefully helpful. I'm sorry it took so long to get to. Yeah, let me know what you guys think. Yes, again, thank you for watching. Goodbye.